out there. Welcome to Flying Dollar Motorsports channel. I'm at the 2023 Colorado Springs Corvette Club Cone Zone Autocross, their spring event, and I wanted to highlight something for you, and it's this sweet 72, right?
Correct.
Corvette Stingray. I met Eddie down here. Eddie, why don't you come in here? Eddie is not in my club. You're from?
Top of the Rockies Corvette Association up in Longmont.
Okay, so but from Denver, basically.
Correct.
For those of us who are not Colorado natives. And you just brought this down here to run in the course today, right?
Correct.
And I thought this thing was really cool. I love older Corvettes and I love old race cars. And when I saw this thing, it's got a great stance, it's got the side pipes, it's got a big nasty engine in it, and I wanted to just go ahead and highlight it for you guys. This is the first time I've done a video like this, kind of where I interview somebody and talk about their car. So if you have any suggestions, if you like something, if you don't like something, put it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So just tell me about the car. What's the story? How did you come across it? You know, just tell me the history of the car for you.
I bought this car in Denver almost 20 years ago, and it was pretty much bone stock when I found it. I found it on the web searching for a Corvette, a classic Corvette, and it just happened to come in the color that I really like, which is white. And it hadn't sold for a couple months, and I called the dealer. He's a classic car dealer at the time, and asked him why it didn't sell, and he said he didn't know. And I asked him a few questions about the car. He said basically it's a stalker, has a 350 with a 4-speed, and it was a 4-barrel car, and base model car, nothing super special, not a special edition of any kind. And I asked him, what's it going to take? He says, I don't know, I think if you come down here you'll like it. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'll come home with that car. He says, no, you need to come see this car. So eventually I did. It took about another 2-3 weeks, and I did get down there. Car still hadn't sold in that time frame. And I found out later it's because the car had been hit and repaired. He didn't say that.
Oh, of course he did it.
Later. But luckily the repair, as bad as it was, has held up all this time. And I've not necessarily abused the car, but I've raced it over the last probably 6 or 7 seasons.
And how long have you had it?
I've had it almost 20 years. I bought it in 2005.
Nice.
So 18 years plus. And I modified it. I drove it stock for about a year just to find out how worn out it was, because it had over 104,000 miles on the clock at the time. And yeah, it was pretty loose. And I wanted to do more of this because I got into autocross racing from the car club. And I wanted to do it with this car, but it needed a whole lot of freshening up. So I got to work, took me 3 years, completely revamped the whole suspension with upgraded parts.
What kind of suspension do you have under there?
Vette Brakes and Products. It's got fiberglass transverse leaf springs under it, QA1 shocks.
Single adjustable or?
Yeah, adjustable, double adjustable.
Double adjustable, okay.
I had the calipers sent off to get re-sleeved because of the notorious leaking problem that they had.
Was it 4-wheel disc when you bought it? Or they were 4 discs from the factory?
Yeah,
okay.
They came stock that way, surprisingly. But I knew that I wanted to run a big overlap camshaft in the motor, whatever motor I chose to put in it. So I upgraded the braking part of it by putting a Hydro Boost unit from a truck, from a GMC van, into it, and that really helped it a lot. It stops lickety-split, and the vacuum doesn't affect it at all. So that part got ironed out, and then I wanted to upgrade to a performance tire. So I moved from a 15-inch wheel to an 18-inch wheel so that I could take advantage of the high-speed tires.
So are they 18s all the way around? Or?
That's correct. It's 18-inch all the way around.
What's the width?
Width is 9.5 in the back and 8 in the front.
Yeah, that's chunky in the back there. I'm surprised that fits under there.
Yeah,
you didn't have to modify? Didn't have to do anything?
I did not. Those are
Didn't
factory.
you have to put in trailing arms or anything?
I did change that, and I found out after the fact that I didn't really have to do that. But it gave me the opportunity to upgrade to new bearings and new components, half shafts, couplers, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, my motto is never replace, always upgrade.
Yeah, we definitely did a lot of upgrading. So the only thing I did not do is lift the body off the frame. Otherwise, I took the car completely apart, gutted the interior, I laid down that sound mat and put in new carpet. It's still got the factory seats in it. Here lately, I put what they call a shark bar, which is a harness for the safety belts. It's got a 5-point harness in it on both sides. And put in a 5-speed transmission, moved it from the 4-speed to the 5-speed Tremec. And that really helped. Numerically, I lowered the rear gear ratio from a 3.7 to a 3.55. So on a 373 set, I moved it to 3.55. And with this transmission and the last couple of motors I've had in it, it was a great road car. This motor is a little more radical and is not really going to give me the kind of mileage I'm looking for. But it's a small block that's now 427 cubic inches. And it's got a big camshaft in it. And the intake manifold is so tall that I can't close the hood, so I've got spacers to keep the hood in place. And luckily, because it hinges in the front, it's not going anywhere. It's heavy enough, it's stable.
Is that, did it come with that's the big block hood, right? So that was something you added afterwards, right?
Correct, okay. That's the L88 style hood. And it came with the car. Even though it was a base model 350.
A lot of people like to do that on there. I'm having the same problem.
It's very stylish. I think it fits the car. And of course with the side pipes, those side mount headers just complete the look. Everybody thinks it's a big block. And they have from the beginning, ever since I've put it back together this direction.
And what else have you got done to the motor? I know you said you had a high-rise intake on there. What kind of carburetor are you running? Yeah, this one's a Holley 750, so it's carbureted. It doesn't have a fuel injection unit. I want it to go old school, but I did upgrade the ignition with an MSD, basically an HEI setup. So it's got an MSD with a rev limiter, and the tachometer is still a mechanical tachometer. That's what came in these cars. And I really like that old school feel of these old cars without having to change to, a whole new set of gauges. So I restored all the gauges while I had the interior apart. Got the clock working. Almost no clocks ever work in these old cars. So I replaced the old unit with a quartz unit and works like a champ. All the other gauges have been cleaned, restored, put back together. Everything works. And upgraded all the linkage for the clutch because it's still got a old school type clutch. And the car runs great. Yeah, I mean, watching it out there today, it sounds really good. I know you said you just put the engine in, right? And you
Correct.
Don't have a ton of time on it, so this was kind of a feeler.
I don't think I've got 700 miles yet on this motor, but it is broke in.
I didn't even look. Is it an aluminum block or an iron block?
No, it's an iron block.
With aluminum
aftermarket.
Heads? We got aluminum heads though?
It does have aluminum heads.
I thought I saw aluminum heads in there. Okay.
It does. And
do you know what kind of compression you got in there?
I think this one is at 10.
10 to 1?
Yeah, it's not real high because it's a crate motor, and the builder suggested that I run 91 octane or as high octane as I can get at the pump. So here in Colorado, that's about as high as you can get, 91.
I appreciate you bringing it out here. I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I know you're trying to finish up, but I want to thank you for taking the time to shoot the video with me. And
you bet. Thank
guys,
you, Jordan.
If you like what I'm doing, I will just remember, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about the car, and we'll see you next time on Flying Dollar Motorsports. Thank you.